Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I was reading my Bible and I'm in Deuteronomy 23, verses 19, and I'll read it to you. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. So I decided to type in the word usury and the meaning of it, and this is what I got. Usury is the illegal or unethical practice of lending money at extremely high, exorbitant, or unlawful interest rates. And then I type in the Bible definition for it, and I get, in the Bible, usury refers to the charging of any interest on a borrowed loan rather than today's definition of an excessively high or illegal interest rate. Okay, so let me give you an example of what usury is. Okay, so let's say I'll use my bike for example. I bought a bike and it was $90 at Walmart, and let's say you know, someone was selling the same bike, but it was $50 more on top of the price, that you bought from Walmart, and that they got their bike from a different uh, location. So, and then you try to sell a price, whoever's in charge sets the price for that item, and then you charge for more on top of the regular price is an example of usury, and that's what you want to avoid. Okay, so if you buy a bike at a store that's 90, just make sure that you're not charging it for more. All right, now if that wasn't your intention, okay, all right, but sell it for 80, especially if you had it for a very long time. Okay, if you buy a bike that was 90 at the store, and let's say you needed $100, right? Then what you can do is, instead of charging the bike for $10 at 100, you can sell it with another item that costs $10. Okay, now like I said, if that wasn't your intention and you need $100 to sell your bike, then that choice is up to you. Okay, you decide if you want to sell your bike for $80 or if you want to sell your bike for 100. Okay, but I just watch out for these prices where it's just they charge you for an insanely immense or high expensive amount to where it's like, why are you charging so much? Okay, over what's been allowed, okay, or agreed upon. All right, is that even necessary? All right, is it the love of money that you have in your heart that, you know, is the reason why you do that? Okay, but like I said, just be careful that you're not adding interest on, you know, on a loan or even what you're selling. Okay, if that's the amount that you need, what I would do is just, if you're selling something and you need 100 and you only pay $90, let's say for a bike, have a separate item and you charge that for $10. Or if you charge less, or if you couldn't do that, or if you had just a bike and you needed 100, then just let the price be 100 for the bike and don't go up anymore. Okay? Alright, as long as your intent is to not, you know, charge interest or usury. Alright? So, that's just my take. And, that's just for example. Hopefully you can hear me speaking on this mic. I'm also recording. So let me see. Let me see something here. Let me see if you're. Let me type in this in Google. If your bike costs $1.90 at the store, is it okay to sell it for 80? I'm gonna see what the difference is and see what results I get. Whoops. And we'll hit enter. Okay. So this is what I type in. If your bike costs 90 at the store, is it okay to sell it for 80? And then this is the results I got. Yes, it is perfectly okay to sell it for 80. Selling a used bike for $10 less than its retail store price is reasonable if the bike is still in like new condition. Okay. Consider these facts to ensure a quick sale condition. The bike must have zero damage, minimal tire wear, and clean gears. Store fees. Buyers often look for used deals to avoid paying local sales tax and assembly fees. Brand value. High quality brands hold value better than budget department store bikes. Market demand bikes sell faster and for a higher price during warm spring and summer months. And so I want to also add something. Let's say you add like add-ons to the bike, and for that reason you want to sell it for $10 more, which would be the $100 that I mentioned. That's perfectly fine. Okay, if the regular price is 90 that you bought, then I would sell it at a reasonable price. You know, if you do $10 more, okay, just be mindful of, you know, of the price you're putting on things. Okay, you buy something that's $90 and you want to sell it for $10 more. Let the reason be because you have added add-ons onto the bike, for example. Okay, you want it to be selling it at a reasonable price. All right. And let's say you want to sell it for $10 less. Well, let the reason be because the bike is in good condition. All right, and that you didn't add any add-ons to the bike, and you took care of it, and you may want to have the bike repainted. Okay, so after I mention about the add-ons on the bike, I'm gonna type this in and see what I get. So I changed it around. I said if your bike costs $90 at the store, it's okay to sell it for $100. And then this is the result I get. It is legal and okay to sell a used bike for more than you paid for it if someone is willing to pay that price. Well, I'm gonna just tell you something. If one is willing to pay that price, of course, don't use them. Okay, don't get more than what is necessarily allowed. Okay, don't, rob that person of their money, a harder money. Okay, charge your stuff at a reasonable price. Okay. For example, you have added add-ons to the bike, okay? Or if you're selling the bike with another item, all right? So there you go. When it is okay, upgrades and repairs. You added new parts, fixed a flat tire, or tuned up the bike. High demand, the specific bike is hard to find in local stores. Rare value, the bike is a vintage or a collectible model. Okay, I tell you, I don't like price gouging one bit. Okay, it's like you run at a low supply of items and then you got to charge it at a very high price because this item is about to run out. Well, then why would you charge it at such a high price? Because there's a limited of that item being sold. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, people aren't gonna buy it. They're gonna see that and they're not gonna want to buy your item. Okay, lower the price down. Okay, so that your item can get sold. Things to consider. Condition: a used bike usually drops in value. Selling it for more only works if it is like new or improved. Market value: check online marketplace to see what similar used bikes sell for in your area. Alright. Anyway, so that is what I researched. Okay. And I thank you for listening. This is a general topic. This will be in the general topic album on my YouTube channel. Thank you for listening and have a good day.